up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance. It is from a song. It is from a song, and it's called Pump Up the Volume by a band called Mars. As soon as I finished episode 19, I Googled it, and wouldn't you know it, it's simply called Pump Up the Volume by Mars. I'll actually play it for you right now, and I hope you can hear it. Here's the very part I was thinking of.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
Yeah! You know what I was thinking I could do? Is make my own little intro music. I've made some songs, Lord knows. The Brioche song? Come on. The Honda Clarity song? Get real. So maybe I can make my own little custom intro song to this podcast. Hopefully still including Technomatics by DJ Mark Rayson. And thank you to those who reached out to me about Technomatics by DJ Mark Rayson. I couldn't find DJ Mark Rayson, but two separate people commented on my YouTube. I upload these episodes to YouTube as well, and two people found him and sent him to me. He's just a guy. He's just some guy. Rayson, not his real last name. He has some long last name. But thank you, DJ Mark Rayson, for all that you do. I would love to include, maybe my intro music can be a little bit of Technomatics by DJ Mark Rayson, a little bit of Pump Up the Volume by Mars. Damn, maybe I even include a little bit of the Brioche song. Speaking of, I got fresh new merch on the way. I just ordered some merch, and I really don't have the money that I just spent to get this merch. So please buy it. But anyway, I got some tote bags on the way. I got some totes on the way to sell at my shows, and they say brioche, brioche, yum, 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 and it's a nice picture of brioche. Done by none other than Teeny Made It. Reno Sriracha's own, did some design for me. And I got some Are You Joking My Ass stickers on the way as well. And some other stuff that'll be available online. Oh, some good stuff is on the way. Big things on the horizon. Welcome to episode 20 of Laser Show. We're in the 20s, the roaring 20s. Man, oh man. And if you remember episode 19, surely you do. Episode 19 was my best episode. It's the best episode of Laser Show. It's such a crazy story. If you haven't listened to episode 19, go back to number 1. And then listen all the way up. Number 1 is my biggest seller, my sleep paralysis episode. Oh my God, I just saw a trailer for a sleep paralysis documentary that I saw like on Instagram. A guy said, here's my top 5 scary documentaries. And I looked up, what's that? It's called The Nightmare or something. And it's about sleep paralysis. And it looks, if you have sleep paralysis, oh man. I think I might not watch it. Because it looks scary as fuck. If you've been through sleep paralysis, it's scary as fuck. And this documentary did like recreations of what it's like to have sleep paralysis with a demon in your room and all the crazy shit people hear and see. Oh, God. I was about to watch it before bed the other night, and I was like, nope, not watching this. I'll watch A River Runs Through It, which I've been watching. I'm on night 3. Tonight, I'm probably going to finish it. I'm probably going to finish it tonight. I usually do movies and, like, I watch them, like, by acts. And I'll finish A River Runs Through It. Young Brad Pitt. Is there anyone more handsome in the whole world at every stage of their life than Brad Pitt? I think Brad Pitt is the hottest man who's ever lived. And I don't think that's that hot of a take. I also think Justin Theroux is up there, as well as Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But Brad Pitt, my God, I just want to give him a kiss. He's so handsome. But anyway, welcome to episode 20 of Laser Show. We left off episode 19. All hell had broken loose. This is Party Angel, what is this? Party Angel Part 4, this is. That's a really cool, fun thing that I do in this podcast as I break up really long stories into parts, and then you can just, hey, you can binge them. It's one really long story, and here's the fourth part of it. The third part of it is the craziest part. This episode is not going to be as good as the last episode. This episode is probably going to suck. Actually, there is a pretty funny story. So I wake up after this shit fest I went through in Tulsa. To get you caught up if you aren't, this is, I'm talking about my Party Angel tour that I'm on right now. Stand-up comedy tour. It's in a bunch of cities, breaking it into parts. As we last left off, I had done a show in Tulsa, had a really weird, bad night in Tulsa, lost my wallet. Had an interesting run-in with a parking lot officer. Really funny story, check it out. But the main thing to take from all of this, up to this point, is that I've done some shows, they've been mostly really good, but in Tulsa, I lost my wallet. With everything in it that matters in the whole world, gone. The people I was with say maybe I was pickpocketed. I feel like I could feel someone picking my pocket. I have a pretty sensitive, I guess really upper thigh. I think I could upper thigh, hip area. I don't know if someone's picking it. Their nasty criminal fingers. I think I just left my wallet on the bar, and it got taken. Either way, I wake up. This is on St. Patrick's Day. So I wake up March 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day. I wake up in a beautiful hotel. I'll give them that. There's a really nice hotel that was very sweet, and they had little St. Patrick's Day notes. Oh man, I saved the card for a couple days. It was so nice. Then I threw it out because I was like, why am I saving this? But it was a card. When you get into the hotel, it's like, oh, I hope you find some gold under the rainbow or whatever. And they're like, I hope you have some luck with the Irish today. Our treasure, our gold under the rainbow is our guests like you. But it was handwritten with a pen, a blue pen. Isn't that nice? And then they left us a little bag of like a few snacks, a few different treats. Some trail mix, some chips, some pretzels. What the hell? And 2 waters. Great place. Couldn't possibly tell you. A Hampton. I don't know. It truly could be anything. But it was a chain. But they treated me real good. I wake up the next day with no wallet. Uh-oh. I am in the middle of a tour. And I have about a week left until I go back to LA for a bit. But until then, I'm doing shows every single day. And I have no wallet. And I have no cards. I have no ID. I had a Subway gift card that had it probably had like $25 still on it. That's a fucking lot of money left on a Subway gift card. That's 2 sandwiches. And when you're on the road trying to eat for cheap, Subway gift card, I got it for Christmas. And I saved it for use until this tour. Because I was like, I'm going to want that Subway gift card when I'm on the road. And I did, and I do. I like Subway. That's one thing that maybe people really hate me for. This is maybe why I have so many nemesis. I like Subway. And I was sad about everything that I lost in my wallet, but I was particularly bummed about that Subway gift card. I was pretty pissed, actually. But the thing that really sucked the most was losing my ID, for sure. And all my cards. I can use my phone as a card. I can actually use my phone as a credit card. And but I did that sometimes. But really, what I was using from this point forward was my bag of cash that I have. Luckily, I had a bag full of cash from my merch. I just recently bought this bag just for this tour. Not just for this tour. I bought it right before this tour. And I will use it for all future tours. And it's just a black bag. I looked up bag for cash. And they have these fancy bags, you know. But I don't want a fancy... I want a rectangle with a zipper on top. And I found one on Amazon and it was like $6. It's worth probably 3 cents. But I got it. It's just a black bag and it has embroidered into it a dollar sign. A green dollar sign. Not a cool looking one, like a Times New Roman green dollar sign. And that's it. It's a bag for cash that's got a dollar sign. And I probably have like $300 or $400 in cash from my koozie sales. So luckily I had a bunch of cash. And I was just like, whenever I got gas, I would take $30 out and put 30 on, pump whatever. Just paying with cash as much as I can. And so I wake up in Tulsa and I cancel all my cards. I cancel everything right away. I'm like, I'm not, even if I do get this wallet back, it won't be for a while. The bar that I lost it at isn't even open on Mondays. So I can't even talk to them until Tuesday. And I'm just driving far away. So I got to get new stuff. But I got to get it shipped, unfortunately. I got to get it shipped to my address in LA. My new ID, which was like a $30 replacement fee. Canceled all my cards, had all new cards sent. But I'm not going to get any of this stuff till I go home in a week. So I got my bag of cash. And I wake up and I have to drive. Today is just a full driving day with no show at the end. And those are my favorite days usually. I love just driving, hungover as fuck, listen to some podcasts, listen to some music, and then not have I can stop and chill. I don't have to like get to this city by any certain time. And then prep my set and be all nervous, put my armpit pads. Whoops, I'm dropping my mic. Put my armpit pads on my shirt. There's a lot of stuff I gotta do. So I love the driving days. And this was a really sad driving day. In addition to losing my wallet, I was really I felt so stupid and embarrassed about that whole night in Tulsa. I was like, geez, man, am I just such a fucking idiot? I was feeling pretty down on myself. Being like, come on, Rye. That interaction with that parking lot officer. I actually remembered where my car is. Oh, that was a tough conversation to have. I felt so fucking dumb. So now I'm dumb and I have no wallet. And I gotta drive. It's like an 8-hour drive. And I drive all the way to Hannibal, Missouri, which is of almost said Harry Potter, Tom Sawyer fame. Do you guys know that I've never seen nor read any Harry Potter? And I was thinking, maybe I'll start. You know, why deprive myself of a thing that is apparently really great? I just really don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. I've been watching A River Runs Through It all week. I don't feel like getting into the Harry Potter movies and reading the books. Oh, that'll take forever. I am a reader, but like really slow reader. It takes me a long time to read a book. But anywho, of Tom Sawyer fame, or Huckleberry Finn, or both. I didn't know this. Someone told me this later. It might not even be true. I said Hannibal, Missouri. They go, oh, Tom Sawyer. And I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't know. But I drove to Hannibal, Missouri. I went to just a driving day and then finishing up at a Days Inn, I believe it was, in Hannibal, Missouri. Really crappy hotel. Green carpet, like on the floor, you know. Just like a shithole hotel. There's a guy in the parking lot barbecuing on like a little hibachi grill. People are yelling. There's a big argument in the room down the hall. A man and a woman. And I could have listened to make sure everything was okay, but I was kind of hungry. I had to go get some food. But when I first get to the Days Inn in Hannibal, Missouri, I have to walk in. I have now printed out at the Tulsa hotel. I printed out a temporary ID that you just print out on 8.5 by 11 paper, and it doesn't have your picture on it. It just says your information, and then you have to sign it. And so this is my ID that I have now on a piece of computer paper that I fold several times to where it can fit in my little money bag. I did eventually go and I got a new wallet on Amazon. the exact same wallet that I had, because that was a gift too. That was also a Christmas gift for my sister. This wallet that I lost. And I felt really bad about that, so I went and I bought the exact same wallet. And I have nothing to put in it. I just wanted to like have a wallet to put like, I don't know, my hotel key. I bought a Visa gift card just to like have something to swipe if something was swipe only. I put $50 on a gift card, and I put my little ID in there. Other than that, I guess I didn't have anything else in there. A little bit of cash. I might stuff a little bit of cash. $20 just in case. So I'm not carrying this fucking bag of cash around that has a money sign on it. Like I'm an old-timey thief. And I robbed a place and there's a dollar sign on my bag of money. But I walk into the Days Inn with, I hadn't gotten the wallet yet, just my bag of money and my temporary ID. And I say, hey, she goes, ID? And I was like, hey, listen, so I lost my wallet, so I have this temporary ID. Is that okay? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. Then she was like, and so the deposit, the security deposit for incidentals is $100. You'll get that back. And I go, this is crazy too. I don't have any, I lost my wallet, so I don't have any cards. I do have this Visa gift card. And she was like, is it activated? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, you have to activate it. And I was like, okay. So I'm starting to I'm taking the card out of the thing to try to activate it, which I'm sure is such a fucking process. Then I was like telling her, yeah, I have a bunch of cash, but, and she was like, oh, you have cash? You can just do the deposit in cash. I was like, oh, really? I have a shit ton of cash, I said to her. I said, bitch, I have a fuck ton of cash. And I paid $100 cash for the incidentals. And then I go to the room, and it's a terrible, disgusting room. You know, this is a save money kind of room. I try to not stay at like such bad places anymore. Ever since I got bed bugs in Memphis, I try to stay at I don't know, slightly less. But Hannibal, Missouri didn't have a lot of options. And I didn't have to say Hannibal, Missouri either. I just looked at a map and it was about as far as I wanted to drive. That's how I end up at some of these places. I was like, I want to drive for like 8 hours tomorrow. And I look up what's 8 hours away and it's Hannibal, Missouri. Okay. But I go in, do my thing, unpack, whatever. I hear a big argument next door. I walk past it, I leave. I go and I get some very, very good Mexican food at the only Mexican place in Hannibal, Missouri. They were speaking Spanish and everything in there. And that was delicious. Got a big-ass burrito. Went back to the hotel. And I take what might have been the biggest poop of my entire life. This poop, and sorry to get graphic and get gross, but I took such a huge shit. And I have a habit of, well, it's not a habit. It's just something that happens to my body, is I take pretty huge shits. And so much so that I have sometimes developed an anal fissure, which is a tear in the anal wall, and it itches like a hemorrhoid. I've also had a hemorrhoid. But that was fine. This was just the anal fissure. That is a little bit harder to treat because I keep taking these big shits. But it's been good for a while. Don't worry about it. I've been doing my stretches. I've been doing Kegels. And I take this really, really big shit. And I flush the toilet. And I clog it. And it doesn't surprise me at all. Because boy, oh boy, you should have seen the size of this shit. It was about the size of a zucchini. It was just a lot. It was just a big pile, is what it was. Clogged the toilet, and so the water's kind of not going down. I go to flush it again. I let the water die down a little bit. I go to flush it again because I'm like, it wasn't that hard. I feel like it's not that hard of a poop. I feel like maybe it just needs 2 flushes. I flush it the second time, and all hell breaks loose. Pandemonium. This is the day after Tulsa. What this keeps happening. Everything, my life is in shambles at this point. This toilet starts overflowing. It's running and it's running and it's overflowing. But the poops, don't worry, the poops are like down in the drain. So it's clean water that's coming out. And I have a video and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna share it on Instagram when I post this podcast. You gotta see what this toilet was doing. It was crazy. But you don't see any poop or anything. So don't worry about it. But this water was gushing. This toilet was gushing water at a rate no man has ever seen. Just pouring out onto the floor. But it's still running. I'm jiggling the handle. It's not doing anything. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like just gushing water. And so I take the top off the tank, and this rubber black tube comes up with the lid, and it got loose, and it was just fucking spraying water all over the bathroom like a fire hose. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I think when I pulled the lid off, I kind of could see where it popped up from. It's supposed to be shoved down into another bigger white tube. And I think it just kind of popped up. It got loose and it popped up. So the first thing I did was, I think that came from that white tube, and I shoved the black tube into the white tube, and then it stopped running. So now I know how toilets work completely, 100%. The black tube goes into the white tube. It sprays water into the white tube. Underwater, the white tube is already filled with water, but the black tube has to spray water into the water of the white tube, and that creates a pressure situation that causes the toilet to stop running. So it stopped running, and I'm just standing in half an inch of water. The water has gotten onto the green carpet outside of the bathroom. It's spreading far. This place has only 3 towels, 3 small towels, raggedy thin small towels, and a couple of like smaller towels, face towels. And I use all the towels except for one, so that I could the one I showered with. And I would just sop up all the water and squeeze it. What the hell word am I thinking of? Twist, ring the towel with a W. So I have to do that over and over until it's like mostly it's pretty clean. The floor is just fucking wet, but it is what it is. Now there's just a bunch of wet towels, and I leave them in the bathtub. And I go about my day. But now the poop at this point is all gathered at the bottom of the toilet. By the hole where everything flushes to. And it's a collection of toilet paper and poop. And a little bit of pee. I'm sorry about this episode. I really peaked with Tulsa. And this story, I shouldn't be telling it. But it's gross, so throughout the night, if I flush the toilet, I'm scared it's gonna overflow. So I'm pretty much just peeing into the toilet and just not flushing it. And I don't know what to do. I think I may have tried. I think I flushed one more time late at night and kept an eye on it, and it didn't overflow, but it still didn't flush. And I was like, well, I've done my best. I kept this toilet as honorable as I could. But it's just it's just a collection of pee and poop and toilet paper down there. And in the morning I go to check out, and also there's towels in the bathtub. The floor is wet. The carpet is wet. Like the carpet is wet around the bathroom. So it was like soaked. So I go to check out, different guy at the front desk in the morning. I say, hey, I'm going to check out. And but I left my incidentals deposit in cash. So can I have my cash back? And he goes, yes, I got that here. Just because it's cash, I got to make sure, we got to have someone go check out the room quick while you're here. And then we'll give you the cash. And I'm like, oh, good. Someone's got to go check the room. And I have to go sit. I just sit on this little green couch that they have in the lobby. This like shitty couch with cigarette holes in it. Shitty couch. Dilapidated, one might even say. And that guy just stands there, and someone went and checked out my room and made sure that nothing was broken. I did leave $10 on the desk because I had a big bag of cash. I don't know if you guys knew that. I left $10 because, boy, I'm sorry. I clogged the toilet. It's fine, but like all the towels are like wet. They're not poopy, but they're like wet, and the carpet's wet. So I did leave $10. But anyway, so this guy's waiting, and then the phone rings, and he answers the phone, and he goes, yep. And then he giggles. He goes, all right. And then he hangs up the phone, and he looks at me with a big smile and just hands me the money and goes, you're all set, man. And I said, thanks, man. What was that giggle? What did she tell him? Because he was beaming at me when he gave me that money. She goes, well, he clogged the toilet, but everything's fine. I bet it was something along the lines of that. Ugh. So then, the next day, well, how much time we got? Let's see. How much time have I done here? 27 minutes. Okay, jeepers. So you know what? Instead of getting to Moline, Illinois, which is next, I did promise you this Boise tale. I was debating doing an episode just about this Boise tale because I was so pissed off. I got screwed. But it's not that good of a story or that long of a story. I just got screwed. I did a show in Boise, and if you treat me like shit, I'm just going to call you out on my podcast. That's all I can do. I'm not going to post about it. I might Yelp about it. I might Yelp about you. I've done that from time to time, not like a place that has me doing stand-up. But this fucking place, fuck this place. I was doing a show in February, at a place in Boise, Idaho, which is how they say it, by the way. They don't say Boise, which is really stupid. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. I think most people in Boise are, from what I found, were really great. But a couple of them can fucking die. I went to this show at a place called the Sapphire Room, and they just started doing stand-up. This is like their third or fourth show, and everything was so great. It was like a jazz lounge that was on the first floor of a hotel, so I got to stay in the hotel, and they were paying me a shit ton of money for no reason. They were paying me $1,500, which is to me is a shitload of money. I'm broke, and I really needed that money at this point in my life and my career. $1,500 for one show, all inclusive, so they don't pay for travel or anything, but they put me up in the hotel. So $1,500 all inclusive, which is way more than I usually make for shows. Just so you know, if you want to book me on a show, you can offer me way less than that, and it's fine. It's really great. But these type of shows, I'm like, holy shit. That's great. And I thought when I first booked it, I thought that my agent, Stu, who got me the show, thank you, Stu, I thought he told me that it was a clean show. I thought he mentioned that. But that was a few months before, and I forgot. So, like, a week before the show, I texted Stu, and I go, hey, by the way, is this Boise show, is that clean? And he goes, use your discretion. I think it doesn't have to be G-rated. You can say fuck a couple times, but yeah, I wouldn't go too blue. And I said, okay, that's good. Because I had just done a clean 81 minutes in Colorado Springs. And it is a fucking struggle. I'm not that dirty of a comic, but I do swear a lot. And some of my jokes are like dirtier. But like I can do an 80-minute clean set. It's just, I change a lot of the things I say. Some of the joke, like a big fucking part of a joke where I might be like, oh, fuck. And I'm going to be like, oh, shoot. Just like stuff like that. And I can't do my fucking a dog joke, my favorite joke. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'd rather not. So, okay, that's great. It doesn't have to be completely clean. And I get to this show. I had two. They also didn't have any other comics. They had just me, and they were gonna give me 90 minutes. And I'm like, dude. And I find this out less than a week before the show. I'm like, okay, this is something that needs to be communicated to me. That's more of a conversation. That's not really the club's fault. And they just don't really know. They're a jazz lounge. They don't know what they're doing. But I was like, fuck. So I go on Instagram and I was like, any Boise comics? Does anyone know any Boise comics? I find two Boise comics. They were great. They do the show. The first comic, I didn't tell them till right before. So it's not their fault at all. I didn't tell them till right before the show. I was like, oh, by the way, I think this is like an all ages show. I think it's like supposed to be pretty clean. And they're like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, sorry. So that is my fault. First comic went up, crushed, with pretty dirty material. And a mother and her, like, 8-year-old child were there, and they left in the middle of the set. So I was like, okay, this person's swearing a lot and talking about cocks. And it was absolutely killing. And I was like, oh, shit. She's going for it. But she was doing so well. I was like, okay, maybe it's not like that clean. Because everyone's loving it, as far as I can see, except for that mother and daughter who left, which was pretty funny. But they didn't leave in like a huff complaining. They just like kind of snuck out the back. I was like, oh, okay, this is not something we should have. Yeah, don't bring your 8-year-old daughter to a comedy show, you fucking idiot. The fact that you have kids at all, I already think you're a fucking idiot. Just kidding. I'm happy for you if you have kids. And maybe I will too someday, but probably not. They leave, and the show's even better at this point. Okay, it's a little bit of the pressure's off. The kid's gone. Okay. Second comic goes up, kills. Less dirty, still kills. I found two great comics. And then I go up, and I have one of my favorite sets I've had in truly years. I had so much fun at this show. This crowd was so fun, a little drunk, little boisterous but fun, but just big laughers. And really, really loose show, a lot of messing around, little crowd work, which I don't do that much or that well. So I was just like, had such a fun set. I brought my lotion down from the room because it smelled so good. I was passing that around. I was like, you guys got it. The lotion they have here, it smells so good. People are passing around, putting lotion on their hands. Oh, it was great. The vibes were great. I did swear many times. But I left out my more offensive material. I got jokes, Lord knows I got jokes about poop, butts, and asses, and sex, and balls and genitals, and I left all that out. I did swear a few times, several times, and but I had a really great set. And afterwards, my agent calls me and says, "Hey, I heard something went down at the show. Like someone wasn't happy, some audience member wasn't happy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, these people left during the first comic set, but it was just like a mother and her young daughter, so he left because it was like a little kid, so it was no big deal." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's it?" I was like, "Yeah." Have a great night out on the town with the other comics in Boise. The next morning, I wake up, my agent calls me, and he goes, "I just got a pretty disturbing email from the club." I was like, "Disturbing email from the club? What the hell does that mean?" He says, people were complaining after the show, saying the first comic was very dirty. You went up and you swore many times, and you even said, I'm glad that little kid isn't here. Now we can have a real show. Which I did not say that. I said I was glad the kid was gone, because I hate bombing in front of little kids and I mentioned what my niece and nephew don't laugh at my jokes, how much more it hurts. That's the joke I made. I didn't go, now we can have a real show, a dirty show. But apparently the woman who booked it, she was like, I was not there, but someone who works there was telling me this, and that people were offended. And Ryan swore many times. And as a result, people were asking for refunds. And we actually lost money doing this. We actually lost thousands of dollars doing this show because people were asking for a refund because they were staying at the hotel. So they wanted a refund on their whole stay. And as a result, we've lost thousands of dollars, and we will no longer be doing comedy shows ever at this venue. And since Ryan knew it was a clean show, and he broke his end of the contract, we are going to not pay him. I was like, whoa, what? I thought I had the fucking set of a lifetime. Who was offended? And a bunch of people were commenting on my Instagram, great set last night, this and that. And then I was like, wait, what the hell? And then I started getting messages that were like, oh, dude, we just got an email. The club sent an email to everyone that had come to the show, an email blast, apologizing for the Ryan O'Flanagan show. And if anybody was offended, they were offering refunds. Just offering them in case anyone felt the show was not up to par. And I'm like, what? So I forward back to my agent. I sent screenshots of all the nice things people had said on Instagram. Great set last night. I sent a screenshot of all the Venmos I got from all my merch sales. Just comments. Comments that people did not have to leave. That doesn't happen at every show. People are leaving comments on my Instagram the next day going, great show last night. But like a bunch of people from Boise, the Boise show did. It was like a particularly supportive crowd that a few people had said, great set last night on various platforms and social medias. So I sent a bunch of those screenshots and I'm like, dude, I had a great set. Like, what? They have to pay me. So he sends that to them. He goes back and forth. They go quiet for a few days. They're just going to not pay me. And so I'm asking these people are messaging me going, hey, we got an email saying that people might be offended and we can get a refund. What's that about? And I was like, dude, I don't know. Can you email them back and like tell them you had like a great time at the show? Like I don't know. I don't think people didn't have a good time. Then one guy messages me and he goes, dude, you know what it is? It was this Mormon couple that after the show, they were waiting in the parking lot for people to leave the show. And they were saying, hey, we're going to team up and take down Ryan because he swore. And it was supposed to be a clean show. And we're Mormon. And we're deeply offended. They were going up to people's cars, people that were in there. That's what this guy said. He goes, dude, I was in my car. And this couple came up and they were like, hey, we're going to try to take Ryan down. Are you with us? We're all going to send emails asking for refunds. And so then the club got, I don't know how many people ended up doing that. I'm sure the cheaper people that were like, yeah, if we're all going to get refunds together, I'm in. And I wonder how many people reached out to them. And then so the club sends out an email blast and goes, hey, if anybody was offended, we understand a lot of people were offended. I don't know how many people were offended. I think just those two people. And I never had a problem with Mormons before. And now, boy, oh boy, do I have a problem with Mormons. What a loser religion. I'm sorry. You're objectively wrong and stupid and weird. So, pretty pissed off at these Mormons. Just chill out. I mean, chill out. It was a comedy show. I said nothing rude or offensive at all. It's okay to hear swear words. You're adults. I'm losing my voice over this. My agent goes back and forth with the Sapphire Lounge. They're no longer ever doing comedy shows. And they're refusing to pay my $1,500. He finally is like, and good on Stu. Stu stayed on him for a bit. And he was like, look, he went all the way up there. He did the show. He paid money to go get it. You have to at least pay him a little bit. They said, all right, we'll give him $500. So they gave me $500, which I also flew to Boise, so I still ended it positive. That's how much my comedy is worth, is like a couple $100. Let's be honest. Dude, my set is not worth $1,500. I'll be very honest about that. But still, that was the agreement, and it also didn't say anywhere in the agreement that it had to be clean. That was a word of mouth thing that got passed through a few mouths and was not very clear. So they offered to pay me $500. Stu was like, do you want to take this or you want to keep fighting them? I was like, I'll just take it, dude. So they gave me $500. They gave me $1,000 less than the agreement because I swore. Whose side are you guys on in this? Granted, I wish it was more clear. If I had known it was a very clean show, I would have kept it very clean. I don't know. I feel like those Mormons would have been offended either way, just because I'm like kind of a goof and a damn drunk. So I don't know. So I was pretty pissed. So that was the Sapphire Room on Boise. Fuck that place. You know what? Boise. Actually, it is Boise. Fuck the Sapphire Room. Boise seemed cool though. Everyone else seemed really cool, except for the fucking Mormons. Anyway, so in conclusion, if you're Mormon, figure it out. You're absolutely living incorrectly. The way you live is weird. Your pajamas are weird. No one likes you. You're being weird. No one thinks that it's interesting. Your religion makes no sense. And just be cool. Look at how much cooler everyone is around you. Didn't you see everyone else at that comedy show laughing? And you weren't laughing? Don't you realize that you're a fucking loser at that point? Fuck off, those people. So that was episode 20 of Laser Show. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next time, ooh, baby, dirty, nasty, episode 21. Nah, it's not dirty and nasty. There's going to be way less shit. I can promise way less poop and pee in future episodes. I can't promise anything. But I can hopefully offer that. Thank you guys for listening, and come see me on the road. I'm going to be in Iowa and Wisconsin, and then I'm following the cicadas across the Midwest in May. Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, you know. So come see me, and as always, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.